All right, guys, we're on chapter 18, Ivan Turgenev's First Love. Chapter 18. I rose in the morning with a headache. The tense excitement of the previous day had gone. I was depressed, frustrated, and overcome by a new, quite unfamiliar kind of sadness, as if something in me were dying. "Why are you looking like a rabbit who's had half his brain removed?" said Lucian when he met me. At luncheon, I kept glancing at both my parents in turn. My father was, as usual, calm. My mother, as always, secretly irritated. I sat there and wondered whether my father would presently say something friendly to me, as he sometimes did, but he showed no sign even of his normal cold affection. Shall I tell Zenaida everything? I reflected. After all, it can't make any difference now. It is all over between us. I went to see her, but not only told her nothing, I did not even get an opportunity for a talk which I longed for. The old princess's son, a cadet about 12 years old, had arrived from St. Petersburg for his holidays. He was immediately handed over to me by Zenaida. "Here," she said, "my dear Volodya." She had never called me this before. "Is a friend for you. He is called Volodya, too. Please get to like him. He is still a wild, shy little thing, but he has a kind heart. Show him the Neskuchny gardens. Take him for walks. Take him under your wing. You will do it, won't you? You will. You too are very so kind. You too are so very kind." She laid both her hands affectionately on my shoulders. I felt utterly lost. The appearance of this boy turned me into a boy too. I said nothing and glared at the cadet, who in his turn stood staring dumbly at me. Zenaida burst out laughing and pushed us at each other. "Go on, children, give one another a hug." Give one another a hug. We did so. "I'll take you to the garden if you like," I said to the cadet. "Very kind of you, I am sure," he replied in a husky cadet voice. Zenaida laughed, and I saw then that the color in her face was lovelier than ever before. There was an old swing in our garden. I sat the cadet on the edge of the thin plank and swung him gently. He sat very stiffly in a small, brand-new uniform of thick cloth with a wide gold braid, and held on tightly to the cords. "Hadn't you better unbutton your collar?" I said. "No, thanks, we're quite used to it," he said, and gave a short cough. He was like his sister. His eyes especially recalled her. Looking after him gave me pleasure, and at the same time I felt a dull pain quietly gnawing at my heart. Today I really am only a little boy, I thought, whereas yesterday... I remembered where I had dropped my knife the night before and found it. The cadet asked for it, broke off a thick stem of cow parsley, cut himself a whistle out of it, and started playing. Othello whistled a little too. But that same evening how he cried, this Othello, in Zenaida's arms, when, having discovered him in a distant corner of the garden, she asked him why he was so sad. I burst into tears so violently that she was frightened. "What is the matter with you? What is it, Volodya?" she kept saying, and when I neither replied nor ceased crying, she made an attempt to kiss my wet cheek. But I turned my face from her and whispered through my sobs, "I know everything. Why did you play with me? What need had you of my love?" "I am guilty before you, Volodya," said Zenaida. "Oh, I am terribly guilty," she said, clasping her hands tightly. "There was so much in me that is dark, evil, wicked. But now I am not playing with you. I love you, and you haven't an inkling why and how much I love you. But anyhow, what is it that you know?" What could I tell her? She stood before me and gazed at me, and I was hers, utterly hers from head to foot, whenever she looked at me. Only a quarter of an hour later, I was running races with the cadet and Zenaida. I was playing tag and no longer crying. I was laughing, though a tear or two filled my swollen eyelids even as I laughed. Round my neck, instead of a tie, I wore Zenaida's ribbon, and I screamed with joy when I managed to catch her by the waist. She did exactly what she liked with me. Damn. That's crazy. But I love Zenaida, man. So, "I am guilty before you, Volodya," said Zenaida. "Oh, I am terribly guilty," she said, clasping her hands tightly. "There is so much in me that is dark, evil, wicked, but now I am not playing with you. I love you, and you haven't an inkling why and how much I love you. But anyhow, what is it that you know?" It's like she's sweetening him up before trying to figure out what he knows. What could I tell her? She stood before me and gazed at me, and I was hers, utterly hers from head to foot whenever she looked at me. So I don't think he ever told her. "So what is the matter with you? What is it, Volodya?" she kept saying. And when I neither replied nor ceased crying, she made an attempt to kiss my wet cheek, but I turned my face from her and whispered through my sobs, "I know everything. Why did you play with me? What need had you of my love?" She did exactly what she liked with me.